Welcome back. In this video, we're going to talk about concept of stack. In JavaScript, a stack data structure is a collection of elements that follows the last in, first out principle. This means that the last element added to the stack will be the first element removed from the stack. A stack in JavaScript can be implemented using an array or an object. Here's an example of creating a stack using an array. In this example, we first create an empty stack represented by an empty array. We then add 3 elements to the stack using push method. Finally, we remove the last element from the stack using the pop method, which returns the popped element. Alternatively, a stack can be implemented using an object and manually keeping track of the top element of the stack. To understand this better, let's jump back on the terminal. Welcome back. Now that we are in the terminal, we are going to implement stack using an object. Let's go inside our source folder, create a new file called stack.js. So over here, we are going to add elements, array, then top index, then our push function, and then our pop function. For elements, we are simply going to denote an empty array, which denotes that the stack is empty. Then we are going to add push function, which will be taking in an element. Then whenever a user tries to push in some element to the stack, we increment the top index by 1 and then add that element in our array at that index. For the pop function, we do not require any argument variable. We simply check this dot top index is equal to -1, that is empty. Then we simply return null. And if that is not the case, then we delete the element at that index, then decrement the top index by 1. Let's export this. Let's open a new tab. In the index file, we're going to import stack. Let's try adding 3 elements to stack by using the push function. Let's put a console log to observe what happens to our stack. As you can see, our object is returning the elements as we have pushed them. And then the top index is at 2. Since it starts from 0, then our 2 functions are mentioned over there, push and pop. Let's make use of the pop function as well. When we do that, let's see what changes after this. As you can see in our second console log, out of the elements, the last element is removed and the top index is at 1. In this example, we created a stack object that contains an array to hold the elements and a top property to keep track of the top element of the stack. We define 2 methods, push and pop, to add and remove elements from the stack. When an element is pushed onto the stack, the top property is incremented and the element is added to the elements array. When an element is popped from the stack, the top element is retrieved from the elements array. The top property is decremented and we simply pop the element out. The pop method also checks if the stack is empty before attempting to remove an element and returns null if it is the case. This was mostly it in this video. See you in the next one.